Ford Beckman is a painter. He got his start in the 90s, and he sort of burst onto the street in New York with this painting right here. It doesn't look like much on the PowerPoint, but it's about an 8x8 canvas of a solid black square, minimalist painting, and the painting was called the Black Wall Paintings, and he just really created quite a scene with these paintings because there was something different about them, which I'll talk about later. But as his career escalated and his success grew, his art became more representational. And at the height of his career, he was doing paintings just like you see behind me, the pop portraits, or what he called a series of clowns. He also did a series of raw meat that became very famous, and his paintings started selling all over the world for many tens of thousands of dollars. This is the Via Panza in Italy, which is one of the most prestigious minimalist art collections where his paintings currently reside, or I should say the majority of his paintings reside right now. And if you're a minimalist artist and you're featured in this, it kind of makes your career. In the course of this, becoming a successful artist, Ford also became quite an art collector. He, at the height of his collection, he had 16 Basquiat paintings. He had a lot by Koons, Schnabel, and some other major contemporary artists. I think his collection at the time was only worth a couple $1 million. Today, you can imagine what it would be. And in the midst of this, in the year 2000, he disappeared. Nobody could find him. The art gallery owners were all asking about him. This guy was a real insider. He was a close friend of Cy Twombly. He would vacation with Schnabel and Koons, and was really in this inner circle in the art world. And it was quite staggering that all of a sudden nobody could figure out what had happened to him exactly. His lines were all disconnected. All of his mail was being returned, address unknown. Turns out that 3 years later he had resurfaced at this Krispy Kreme, which is located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He'd been serving donuts there for about 2 years when I actually met him, and he had just finished his job there. And of course, the article goes into exactly how he went from having dinner with Cy Twombly and celebrating his showings in Italy to serving Krispy Kreme donuts in Tulsa. But the thing I wanted to talk with you a little bit about tonight was what I learned in interviewing this man who I consider a great artist in his own right, is that I really learned how to look at his paintings. And in the course of writing this, I've been doing a lot of science writing for the last couple of years, and so this is, I think, informed this article in a slight way. The guy that you see behind me is William Herschel. And I was actually reading a book of his, not of his, but a book about him called The Age of Wonder. I don't know if anybody's read that. It came out this year. It was a really spectacular read. And in it, there was a section on William Herschel and his experience with the night sky. And this guy's the father of modern astronomy. He discovered the planet Uranus, lots of other comets. He knew what he was doing back in the late 1700s, early 1800s, in an artistic way. And one of the things that I found compelling about his story was that he said that you don't begin to see a star until you've been looking at it for at least an hour. And I thought that was a pretty telling thing because he wasn't just talking about the physiological aspects of your eyes acclimating to the darkness. He was talking about understanding how to look at it, askew so that parts of your, so that your eye could pick up certain angles of refractory light and things like that. So he was really attuned to looking at the sky. And I think that that's the way you look at a Ford Beckman painting. What you see behind me right now is not a Ford Beckman painting. That is just a black square against a white square. And I'll tell you the difference between that and this, which is a Ford Beckman painting. What is extremely hard to tell is that this is a yellowing background. And so the black becomes a sort of a screen, a distraction. And what is really going on with this painting is this strange backdrop. This, if you were to see the painting up close, you would see that it has this antique aging quality, like old skin in a way. And if you walked around to the side of the painting and you looked at it, you would see these staples going across the sides, and you'd see hints of just how thick the enamel is on the paintings. He painted, I think, 60 layers on these black wall paintings. So it takes on this mass. I mean, the paintings are really, really heavy. But you begin to understand that there's something going on in those paintings that is not quite just a black box against a flat background. And as he became a greater artist in terms of expressing himself and having greater gallery showings, he took an interest in representational paintings like pop paintings, and he took images of clowns. Now, this is not a Ford Beckman painting, that's just a clown. This is a Ford Beckman painting, and what's telling about this is that just like the black wall, the clown itself is a screen sort of meant to distract the person from what is actually going on behind the clown, which is, in this case, I think is a soiled bed sheet from the 1950s. And a lot of his representational paintings had that very dark element. He grew up in this, with a lot of turmoil in his house, split family, and had a lot of issues with his father. And so some of his paintings are set against dirty linoleum and things like that. So when you begin to look beyond the clown and see what's going on past it, Ford sort of begins to come through somewhat like a star. So where do you see a Ford Beckman painting at today? When I saw it, it was in this barn in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's hard to believe it, but this thing is right next to the freeway, and the top floor is where he had a studio. And the day that I did the interview, that morning, one of the collectors from the Arm & Hammer collection had been in this barn looking at all of his paintings. And I think he bought 2 or 3 of them at the time, for maybe 10 to 20 grand a piece, something like that. So it was really strange for me when I told all my friends, hey, there's this artist in town and he was serving donuts, now he's at this barn down the street, and if you wanted to, you could go say hi to him. And anyway, not a lot of people took me up on that. But, that's my Ford Beckman story. You can learn more about it in The Believer, and hopefully you might be seeing his art in some museums nearby. So, thank you so much.